Loco. Hello, my name's Cameron, I'm from Australia and I'm currently teaching for Loco Teachers in Beijing. Okay, so I actually met Ryan, who's one of the main hiring managers for Loco Teachers. I met him in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. We were actually couch surfing at the time, which was pretty cool. So we had a mutual friend and we sort of just started talking just about everything, life, politics, just about everything. And we sort of just got along well. And I did a bit more travelling further along the line, did a bit of teaching in Cambodia and a few other places, and eventually he sort of hit me up for the job and said, look, would this be something you're interested in? And I thought, you know, China, I've been there before, but only for a very short time, and definitely I thought for the experience and the opportunity I'd jump on board, which I did, so yeah. So I think my biggest concern probably was, you know, just as anybody would, you know, be concerned, sort of just packing up from Australia, for instance, and just moving over there. But it's one of those situations where I got over here, it's kind of, you know, the job was organised beforehand, the visa was organised, so I wasn't, you know, I was all in my head as such. So also I think the financial situation and the cost of things I was a bit worried about because I didn't have too much of a background on China and how much things were costing. So once I got over here, you know, I realised things are a lot cheaper than you expect, and you know, you can easily live on what you're earning as well as save some as well. Biggest surprise? I'd probably say the amount of English speakers, especially from a younger generation, because obviously I'm here teaching English, but there's a real push and drive for it. So a lot of the young teenage years, a lot of them are starting to speak really good English, which kind of helps with the language barrier. You still have the older generation that are a bit more traditional and speak mostly Chinese, but you know, it's breaking down the barrier when a lot of the younger kids can speak English. The biggest difference, I think, would probably just be the way they look at things and do things. You know, in the West compared to the East, you know, we have our ways. The East, for instance, China has their ways, the way they look at things. You know, you might not have to agree with them, but I think you have to accept it for what it is. And also the way they go about things, you know, I think they implement, for instance, environmental stuff. So there's been a lot of bad talk about China with smog and pollution. They really like to innovate and solve problems. For instance, they have these apps on their phone. One's called Mobike, where throughout the whole city there's millions and millions of free bikes. You just download the app, scan a code on your phone, and it unlocks a bike, and you can ride for as long as you like. And they're all around Beijing. So you know, that stops pollution from cars, motorbikes. So that's one thing. I think the second thing would probably be the way they actually pay for everything. There's another app, because everything is mobile phone based. So you know, you have your wallet on your phone. So they have an app on the phone called WeChat, which is a messaging system. It can also be used as a wallet. So pretty much, you know, if you wanted to buy something, whether it be street food or in a restaurant, you'd go up, you'd say it cost you 20 RMB, you'd scan it on your phone, you'd put your little PIN number in, and easy as that, it's paid for. So I think that's something that you don't see in Western countries, and I think it's a lot more advanced than what you'd expect it to be. I think the expectation was when you come over to a place like Beijing, and even, you know, places in like Japan, for instance, where you're expecting there's so many people, there's no room, you know, tiny apartments. But I think myself and my roommate, my friend who I'm here with, we found that, you know, plenty of room, you know, at a reasonable price. So I live in the southeast part of the city, so it's, you know, spread out to massive city, and it's very reasonable. And for the size you get, it's, yeah, very good. So
how much do you pay?
I'm paying about 2,500 RMB, which per month. So that's the equivalent of about, or maybe 500 Australian dollars, if not maybe 400 American dollars. So it's very well priced for what we're getting. And you know, we're 10th floor, so we get a nice view, and everyone gets their own room and everything. So it's really nice.